It's a live guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live. 5 on the Evil FB Network, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in IE Newswire, Roy Blecker. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face. Of course, we'll join the mighty Matt KMT at the bottom of the hour, as we usually do on this Faster Than You Friday. Fraud, thievery, $600 million new, 600 grand they can't find. The library department is supposed to go to Dolly Parton's foundation. 6 million they found in thieved goods in Temecula from all over SoCal. The fun just goes on forever, but as we said, the lead story of the day, a fool flag burner and NIH protester set himself on fire. Yes, up in Portland, Oregon, where all the Tutti Fruttis have been camped out for a long time. Oh, karma caught up with this guy in a unique way, I would say, as he was going to be a badass and burn the flag and set his little ass on fire. Oh, man. Sometimes you just don't have to do anything. You just have to let life play itself out. And ain't it funny how things seems like they even themselves out if you live long enough, at least as I have. I've come to learn that. Don't sweat everything 100% because it all comes out in the wash, it seems like, in the end. Something else. Add a doubleheader up in Las Vegas, the start of the high limit sprint car season. NASCAR stars Ty Gibbs and Kyle Larson, and Xfinity star in California, both Kyle and that, and Corey Day were out there racing. But the USCS, the non-winger guys, which that's a whole nother can of worms, they should be put together. But this was a wild situation in the heat race coming around. Two got tangled up, and one guy goes through the catch fence. Let's see if this plays. Here we go.
Pass of Jacob Toto. We got big time upside down in turn 4 through the fence.
Yes, he was through the fence, as you saw that. As we roll the replay through that, you see him coming around on another one. Boom, did he boom. This is a pretty hard tumble, and then boom, right through the catch fence. At that, there's the reverse angle, as they say, right through that. That's Gary Thomas on the call on Flow Racing Network. Wild ride. They're up in Vegas. They'll be there 2 more nights. And it will be a heck of a show. Plus, USAC CRA Sprint Cars and Western States Midgets will be down at Imperial Valley tonight and tomorrow night. So, hey, if you're down there in Holtville, El Centro, Imperial, or you want to make the big trip for a weekend or just tonight or Saturday night, you can check them out. But here's Kyle Larson and Corey Day battling for the lead at the high limit wing sprint car race. Here we go. Oh, we thought. Let's see if we can make it play. Here we go.
Who's it going to be at the line? Kyle Larson at the bottom. Day to the outside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. It'll be Larson at the line.
Pretty darn good racing from both ends of it out there in that Corey Day did. Ty Gibbs had a pretty nasty flip on that. Here's the end of the USCS sprint car race. Here we go.
High line into turn number 3 and off of a turn number 4. Give the victory to the Macho Man, Brady Bacon in the 51. Second place is going to go to Ryan Burnell, then Ricky Lewis third, Tanner Carrick fourth, and Charles Davis Jr.
Old Man Davis brought up the 5th place on it, as I like to call him. Brady Bacon, the Macho Man from that, Ryan Burnell, ripping Ricky Lewis of that, the top 3 there in Las Vegas. Man, it was a heck of a rip and run, as they say. Here's Ty Gibbs. He didn't have a great night. NASCAR star out there. Here we go.
Corey Day to the inside of Rico. Rico around the outside. Oh, Ty Gibbs upside down. Big time in turn 2 into the catch fence, and he comes to a stop.
Pretty wild racing all around up in Vegas last night. Again, if you're up, want to take a trip this weekend to Vegas to see sprint cars. I don't know why we can't get this all evened out, but stories for a different day. But there you go. The Friday race report. California's hopping. Well, Nevada's hopping. California will be again. USAC CRA sprint cars and Western States midgets tonight, tomorrow night down at the Imperial Fairgrounds in Imperial, El Centro, Holtville, Brawley, and all those rockin' and rollin' towns represented by the great Assemblyman Jeff Gonzalez. I might add to throw some politics in the mix, as we say. One of the more interesting, let's say, genres we may see is San Bernardino Valley College, if I can find it. San Bernardino Valley College is restoring a 1916 Buick. It's their 1926. It's their 100th anniversary, so they decided to restore a 1926 Buick as part of their auto shop classes at San Bernardino Valley College. So congrats to them, to those down there at SBVC, as we say, and I can't find that. But I will add on the preview for today. How did we ever survive? We had the guillotine, that's what we used to call it back then. That was a paper slicer. And yeah, when you got to 10 years old, I think 5th grade, it's 5th grade, maybe 4th, you were finally allowed to use, in every class, at least in Midland School, well, at least from maybe 4th or 5th grade up. I guess we didn't have it in 1st and 2nd grade. But every class had the paper slicer so you could slice the paper. And we were entrusted in that. And nobody sawed their finger. I'm sure somebody probably somewhere, some kid probably did cut his finger off in one. So we had to ban the paper slicer and everything else on the cause of safety. Take this to the bank. We cannot let the perfect get in the way of the greater good. The greater good is to learning how not to cut your finger off and how to use these type of instruments safely. We'll get into the rest of the rockin' and rollin' news, the thefts, the 600 million, the 650,000, the 6 million or 8 million or whatever in stolen goods that were found in Temecula, and more of the good stuff on this Faster Than You Friday. Yes, it is. We're always faster than you. They were faster than you in Vegas, and they will be tonight, as they will in Imperial. If you want to enjoy racing, it's a big day, big weekend on the West Coast. Go to Vegas, down to El Centro. You'll see sprint car racing aplenty in both spots on that. We'll get into more of this, what we've been, and that whole safety thing. As you know, that drives me absolutely 1,000% up the frickin' wall. This antiseptic society we've tried to create for ourselves and our kids and our society, and we're just going to wish everything away. Nothing's going to go wrong. We're going to solve everybody's little problems. Ain't happening, folks. It's how you learn not to cut your finger off on that or Beverly Shear or anything else. Is you were taught the safe procedures. And yeah, if you want to be stupid, you may be a dork that cuts your finger off. Maybe that will teach you the lesson. It's about time we stop this whole, we think we can solve every problem. And we're going to wipe away every tear and kiss away every boo-boo, and we're all going to make it better, and we're going to get some ice cream, and it's all going to be okay. That is not reality. Never has been. Never going to say never, But if history is the best indication of past behavior, it's never going to happen, not on this planet Earth. In a lot of cases, probably 1 or 1A, that's why you can, practically every problem we're seeing in society now, you can trace to this. And it's beyond any comprehension, at least that I have. Finally found it. Here it is. Oops. I can get it set up. Yes, there's the 1926 Buick they're restoring at San Bernardino Valley College. They always had a good vocational program over there. So has RCC at times, more so at San Bernardino Valley College. And it's good to see the kids over there putting together, restoring a 26 Buick for their 100th anniversary. Very, very, very good project. You know, those kids there will probably not be, at least, you know, you learn stuff like that, you're not as susceptible to cutting your finger off in the guillotine, as we used to call it, the old paper slicer. So it's about time we started just being more realistic about stuff. And maybe we won't get ripped for $600 million. Here's the Fox News report that broke. 87-year-old doctors supposedly is getting all this hospice or Medicare money. He has no idea of it. And I kind of tend to side with him, but you never know. But if not him, which it doesn't appear to be, who's bagging all the money? Here we go.
The administration's healthcare fraud microscope is focused on California tonight. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse tells us about one provider who does not even live in the state and is responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in billing.
I'm looking for Dr. Faustina. This is his address of record with the medical board.
He doesn't work here.
He doesn't work here. He is your medical director, however. Isn't that correct? He's not. Since when?
I don't know.
In December, New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney asked the Trump administration to investigate healthcare fraud in L.A.
The money's being sucked out of the system by these fraudsters.
Specifically, she asked how a single physician living out of state helped providers bill taxpayers for $600 million.
So let's stop there. Remember when Oz came out here and said to Southern California and said, look at all this hospice. Look at all this hospice fraud. What was it, racism? Oh, you're picking in the Armenians and the Russians, and Newsom's going to sue. Well, now it's like a daily occurrence coming out here. What was the first thing they shouted was racism? Take them to court. You know, it's about time we lock up a-holes like Newsom and all these tree huggers, suing lawyers and everything. Just lock them up. Maybe, well, you guys like dictatorships and that? Democracy? Well, we just decided as a democracy, we don't want to suffer from the actions you guys have taken, ripping us off, killing us, shortening our lives. Screw you. We're just going to democratize. We're going to vote to put you in jail for the rest of your lives. If not, hang you. That's the way democracies work. And that's a threat to democracy that all you yo-yos keep yelling about. Here we go with the Fox News report before my head explodes.
Somehow, you are responsible for 29,000 patients. And here's the billing information. That physician, 87-year-old Gilbert Faustina. These home health care agencies, but they're using your number.
I don't know them.
Faustina lives in Las Vegas, but we met him at this apartment in Los Angeles.
I'm not seeing anybody now. Last month, I saw about 10 or 15 charts when I would visit, but that's one day a week.
Yet records suggest he filed 76,000 claims.
I don't do the billing. I've never billed Medicare for any of these patients.
How many charts and so forth can you go through to approve their care?
Oh, 15 or 20.
But these documents suggest that you're seeing thousands of people.
Well, the document is wrong.
The document is wrong. I mean, again, we don't have all the evidence in, but this guy looks fairly credible. Like, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Remember Act Blue? They'd go up to little old lady's house. You donated. Did you donate $50,142.67 to Kamala Harris? And she looks at James O'Keefe and says, what are you talking about? Maybe I sent them $10 one time or something. And you're walking up in the middle of, the Appalachians, where the average house was probably selling for $15,000 a copy or some ridiculously low price like that. These people are not donating 50 grand. It's just like this doctor. I have no idea what the hell's going on here.
Federal documents show 335 providers billed Medicare $600 million over 5 years using Faustina's physician number. Yet he claims only to have contracted with 3 companies in this building. At this address, I have millions of dollars of health care provided at this location at both Highlight and Aries. And on call, there's more than 900 patients, and $17 million has been billed out of this location.
It certainly sounds unseemly to me.
Dr. Ira Byock is a national expert.
They're all only serving a few patients, which keeps them at a level under the radar. This isn't a mistake. This is a strategy.
Records also link Faustina to 18 hospice providers.
I am not associated with any hospice.
And 3,000 claims.
I'm not associated with the claim at all. I've never seen the claim.
So what's going on?
Okay, either this guy is one of the best actor liars of all time, or somebody's using his name to pull off a $600 million fraud on the American people.
On hospice in Suite 204. We visited several hospices billing under Faustina's Medicare number. Many look more like mail drops than medical offices. My name's William Lajeunesse, and I'm with Fox News. We also spoke to one company that provides doctors and nurses to home health care agencies.
He used to be employed with us as one of our supervising doctors.
Days after receiving the Tenney letter, Medicare ended Faustina's ability to seek reimbursement, and this company cut ties.
We are not sure what happened as well.
You're not sure?
Clueless what happened.
If there is fraud, Faustina says he's not getting a cut. So you think somebody's probably committing fraud on your behalf?
Absolutely. Not on my behalf, on their behalf.
This guy, either he's the best actor. He's better than, Tom Cruise or any of the others that are going through there, Paul Newman, Gene Hackman, and a whole host of others, Kurt Russell, or he's lying through his teeth. I gotta believe. If I was betting the farm, I'd bet in this farm this guy doesn't know what the hell's going on. Let's finish up with Lajeunesse's report.
Neither Dr. Faustina nor any of the providers associated with using his Medicare number have been accused of unethical or illegal conduct. However, the U.S. Attorney is investigating home health and hospice in L.A.
That would be Bill Asaley. So how far does this thing go? It's amazing. It's amazing of this hole that we've dug ourselves in. Here's another one that just popped up in the California Globe by the great Katie Grimes. More California fraud. State librarian cannot account for $650,000 intended for Dolly Parton's children literacy program. 650 grand. This he's the state librarian. He didn't know where, I don't know where it went. We have no idea. The state's inability or unwillingness to provide answers reeks of horrific non-transparency and or fraud. Apparently, Dolly Parton's foundation has a deal with the state of California and many agencies to buy, purchase, and distribute books to kids that are underprivileged and all, and it sounds great. But like this, they're $650,000. $650,000 we can't account for. She created the charity 30 years ago to benefit, again, underprivileged kids. They're where she's from in East Tennessee. And she's expanded it through the years as she's got more popular and la-di-da. Now, nobody's accusing Dolly Parton's foundation of pilfering it. But when you ask the question, hey, where's the money at? Nobody seems to have any answers. Like $600 million in fraud. How do we dig ourselves into these ridiculous holes? And nobody has an answer. Shannon Grove, our state senator, asks about this, and they don't give her answers. Then what's the use of electing these representatives? Even if they're trying to do some good, the ones that are trying to do good, they just shut them out. Well, we're just not going to talk to you. Because we have 75% of them in our state legislature, along with every state offices, are kook left idiots, and they're corrupt thieves. Whether they're supplying that just to keep themselves into power and or enrich themselves. You know, if Senator Shannon Grove calls up and says, hey, state librarian, maybe a constituent had a question, maybe somebody uncovered it, maybe it was an Ed Laskos investigation. There's allegedly 650,000 missing from the fund here, this and that. Why don't you give me an answer for that? Well, I don't know. That's what they get back. That's what we get back. Well, they're defrauding us for billions and tens of billions and hundreds of billions, if not trillions. It's, again, like Shannon Grove says, the library, you're a state entity. You're supposed to know. Or at least be able to find out or answer a question. $9 million in rent here for this building. Nobody's probably empty. We need to stop it, not figure it out. Of that $350 billion budget, at least a third. $110 billion has got to be fraud.
Got 1 minute, Roy.
And that's the easy part. That's probably the easy stuff. This stuff is permeated through every government agency, from the District of Criminals to the Sewer Cleaning Commission in your neighborhood. And we better have the gumption to stop this before
30 seconds.
We collapse the whole thing. As Sean said, we'll be joining the Mighty at KMET 1490, and we'll finish up on the rest of the last half hour on this Faster Than You Friday. With all the fun and frivolity that the week has brought us, and hopefully we can have a relaxing.
Here we go, 10 seconds.
Those who support America, PatriotSwitch.com.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Joining our vast video audience on the Evil Hippie Network and YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in IE Newswire Roy Blecker. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face. Check out the first hour on IE Newswire on there, and you'll see the guillotine we used to have in every classroom, the old paper slicer. And we used to have this, and you know what? Well, at one time, and I'm sure the reason they're probably not in the classrooms anymore, some kid probably did cut his finger off on one, and then we had to have, we can't have these in, and da-da-da-da. You know, when you learn to run this stuff at 10 years old, you didn't. The vast majority of the kids did not chop their fingers off in the paper slicer, or a Beverly shear, or stick their hand in the meat grinder and have their hand chewed off or something. Because you learned how to use this stuff safely as it was intended. And just because one kid didn't, does not mean you need to ban the whole thing. Do not let the perfect stand in the way of the greater good. I don't care, all of you, especially, and I'm talking to you under 50, and you can call me an old fossil or whatever. And that's fine, but you can stick it up your ass because we knew how to run this stuff and we weren't stupid. And we knew how to take care of ourselves. And we became productive human beings. We didn't crawl in the corner when somebody said boo to us. So, unless you want to be totally controlled pawns, y'all, especially in California, but across the nation, y'all need to get your ish together. Jumping off the soapbox. This was an appropriate meme of the day. Iran cancels California airstrike because Gavin Newsom destroyed it for them. And we know all that. We're going to go through some of the stuff. We just did the one earlier. You can check that out. The Fox News report of what, $600 million or whatever more in welfare fraud. Some poor, it appears. Now, he could be a good actor. Some 87-year-old physician, there's somebody's using his name and license and got all these hospice and money flowing all over. It's absolutely 1,000% incredible of what goes on. It doesn't seem like we ever learn our lessons, but we shall see. CBS LA report. More of your cash going down the ratty hole. See if it will play.
More than 3 million businesses
Head west, then turn left.
officially registering with the state last year.
Right here. This is supposed to be a construction company.
But are all of them really open for business? Are they real at all? And if they're not,
well, does it look like a construction company?
Who's really getting the business?
So you don't know this person at all? No.
In the end.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know.
They're scared.
They're scared.
The scare for hundreds upon hundreds of people started here at the Secretary of State's official website. At BizFile Online, anyone can register a business, like an LLC or a corporation, for a small fee.
So we were thinking, well, hopefully this is only contained to the hospice area. Apparently not. Apparently there's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses that are registered, and there's no action, no nothing, but there appears to be lots of your tax dollars going to these companies. I don't know. Let's see.
The state says it's also the first step in security. And on November 6, 2023, that is apparently what Thomas Andrusonis signed up for, taking the first step to incorporate Andrusonis Kitchen and Bath by strongly protecting and registering his business to a North.
There you go. They're registering businesses. They show up, and it's a house. I kid you not. How in the heck? How in the heck could we wind up? You can almost bet the farm they're getting loans or something, or direct grants, or $650,000. Where nobody can figure out where it's going.
Was this home and confused homeowners.
Definitely no kitchen and bath place here.
And when we went searching for Thomas Andrusonis himself,
We go to this house.
You go to the house and and it's a home. How do we, and this report goes on, CBS did they went through all of this. Now that it just seems like every day, drip, 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 we're getting another investigative report of the fraud that's going on. We're not prosecuting the crimes. Here's a report from NBC4. They caught somebody in El Segundo. They trace it back. What? $6, $8, $10 million worth of stolen goods found in Temecula. $800,000 in cash. This stuff is absolutely ridiculous. Here we go.
Suspected burglars, believed to be part of an organized theft ring, are now in custody after a weeks-long investigation. NBC4's Darsha Phillips joins us live now from El Segundo with the story behind this multi-million-dollar bust. Darsha.
Yeah, Carolyn, police say that this was an organized burglary ring, and police here in El Segundo say these thieves would case homes, and here in El Segundo they kicked down the door of a home while the victims were out, and they managed to steal a number of high-end items in just a matter of minutes. El Segundo police helped capture 2 thieves in an organized crime ring. Detectives say Jonathan Calkins and Christopher Welker burglarized at least 10 homes, including one in El Segundo, stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in items from that home near California and East Sycamore Avenue.
The items that were taken from our victim were high-end Birkin bag purses. Like I said, approximate value for all of them combined was about $600,000.
What in the hell? 600 grand in El Segundo? Who in the hell in El Segundo can afford 600 grand worth of purses? This whole thing is suspect as hell. This sounds, I'm not saying it is. I mean, tell me how this cannot be thieves stealing from thieves or something. This whole thing is freaking bizarre.
That burglary took place in January. El Segundo police worked quickly, sending surveillance images of the burglars to other police departments.
We received some back from Glendale PD as well as San Diego PD that they believe had the same suspects burglarize people in their community as well. The same kind of cars were used, the same kind of modes of entry were used. Usually it was involved kicking down a door. Same suspect appearances for both and all the cases throughout.
Police tracked down the thieves to a home in Temecula where they found a stockpile, upwards of $6 million in stolen items, including high-end purses, weapons, watches, gold coins, and $800,000 in cash, all from burglaries across California.
$6 million worth of goods, 800 grand in cash, stuffed in a Temecula home, and burglaries from El Segundo to San Diego. Now, in parts of San Diego, I could say, or Orange County, or Bel Air. El Segundo, they bagged 600 grand worth of purses. How much are those purses cost? I don't know if that was only like 12 of them. I don't know, maybe there were more. I mean, what are these purses cost? Who the hell would pay $50,000 or $10,000 or $1,000 for the purse? I don't care how much money you have. It's absolutely stupid. Here's more from the NBC4 report.
Including the one in El Segundo, and police believe more victims may come forward. Tonight, people who live in El Segundo thankful the thieves are behind bars.
I never heard something like that, especially in the residential area. This is the first time I'm hearing that, but I mean, it's not very often that happens here.
Okay, if this is the, and I'm not putting this guy down, he could be anything. This doesn't look like the neighborhood where one house would have 600 grand worth of purses in it. Just saying.
We feel very fortunate, you know, with the police department and stuff.
But police are urging folks to not let their guards down, warning that they've seen a rise in organized burglary rings in the South Bay. Police recommend installing cameras outside your home and be mindful of what you post on social media.
We are seeing a lot of people being targeted on social media based on the things they're posting, whether it be high-end bags or Rolexes, things like that.
And we reached out to the attorneys of the men who were arrested. Christopher Welkin's attorney got back to us saying in part that his client looks forward to fighting these allegations the old-fashioned way in court. Reporting live tonight for
Unbelievable. Now, I will say this, and a lot of people, and you know, just something to be cautious of. And, you know, all these events things, and you put on, you know, on these social media, oh, you're attending this, or they're trying to get you to attend that. Well, thieves are watching this. So they know, oh, John and Lydia, oh, they're going to be up in Vegas this weekend watching the high limits front and USCS sprint car races. Oh, maybe we'll just go over there and target their home. So, just beware, but this store, the 600, the thing that just lights off alarm bells is 600 grand worth of purses in a home in El Segundo. My oh my. More on the crime blotter for today, the crime capers, as we say. Here's another one from ABC7. Here we go.
Breaking into a Riverside office overnight. Surveillance video shows him smashing right through the front door. Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Velez live with that video and what the business owner hopes will happen next. Abigail?
Well, Mark, that video shows exactly what happened earlier this morning. A masked suspect wearing gloves breaks into a Riverside business, and once he's in, it looks like he knows exactly what he's doing. By the end of it, he ended up making off with thousands. The first throw should have been the chance to think twice, but instead, they break in. Surveillance video captures a masked person smashing their way into Ray Reynolds Financial Services in Riverside just after 12:20 a.m.
Okay. Ray Reynolds Financial Services. And to get into Ray Reynolds Financial Services, all you got to do is kick in the glass door and you're in.
Once inside, the person moves quickly, first toward the entrance camera, the suspect seen tearing it off the wall, leaving it hanging. But other cameras in the office keep recording. From another angle, the person can be seen walking into a back room used to record professional videos. There, they appear to know exactly.
Okay. What doesn't make sense in this story? Ray Reynolds Financial Services, and we have lots of sophisticated, expensive camera equipment for doing recording. That sounds odd. A little sus. I'm not saying they were, but this looks like some of the type of recording equipment you would have, like maybe from doing some OnlyFans videos or something. Not saying that he didn't have a legitimate purpose. Maybe he was making his own commercials. I don't know. Here we go.
Exactly what they're looking for, removing 2 high-end cameras from their tripods, the equipment worth about $20,000. Business owner Faye Reynolds says one camera belonged to an employee and the other was purchased just weeks ago. Reynolds saying nothing else but the cameras were taken.
And it's sad to see that you work so hard to at least have something, build something, and someone that just wants easy money just come and take it because.
So this is Faye Reynolds Financial Services. And the only thing that probably was of value in the financial services thing was 2 very high-end cameras, which, yeah, those easily could have costed 10 grand a piece. Not that anybody should have their equipment stolen. And just checking out the overall ambiance in this picture or video. We report, you decide, as they say.
They don't have the drive to do something for themselves.
Now she's hoping the video will help identify the person responsible. Now, if you recognize that person, you're urged to contact Riverside Police, who are now investigating.
And we do encourage that, and I'm not saying anything untoward's going on. It's just another one of these situations like the other one, 600 grand. $600,000 worth of very expensive, only the ultra elite. Whatever, Bezos' wife or girlfriend or mistress or whatever, Gavin Newsom's wife or mistress or whatever. And we got the whole new illegit baby claims again coming out on him. But I don't really care about that. That's his personal deal. Just like the other one, who had knowledge of what was going on in there? Just like the El Segundo or this in Riverside. Who would have known? And if you're just the average thief and you see Ray Reynolds Financial Services, you can expect to know that there's 2 cameras worth about 20 grand in the back room. That doesn't mean the suspect shouldn't be caught, and justice shouldn't be served, and Faye Reynolds should have justice for getting her equipment stolen. But I would just think there's probably a very narrow amount of people that knew what was that. And this person seemed to know a lot, where the cameras were, where the security cameras were. All these questions, and Faye Reynolds or anybody else can come in and answer them or respond. And have an explanation, like the librarian, the state librarian, where's their 650 grand? You know, like this latest fraud of the hospice and this one. The old doctor who is, I have no idea how I make it. I'm not seeing 10,000 patients. And that seems pretty good at 87 years old. That part of the story seems legit. And again, unless that old guy's the greatest actor. You know, CBS recording tens of thousands of businesses that don't appear to be operating. Who knows how many hundreds of millions, billions of our tax dollars are getting funneled through these. Between the NGOs, non-government organizations, nonprofits, phony businesses, people with their fingers in the pie. This is something came up, we did this 8 years ago. And what was striking, you know, today you hardly get any video views on these things on the Evil Epi Network. 10,000 views on this about the wall. Here's an 8-year-ago memory from today on iNewsWire about building the wall. Let's see. And of course,
Again, it's outdated material, it's the concept. It serves an economic driver of this outlet mall that was built after.
So that was showing Chula Vista, when Bill Clinton built the wall in '96 in Chula Vista, which looked like Tijuana at the time. Once you built the wall, Chula Vista came back to the once great suburban community of San Diego it was. That's what border security, that's just what common sense does. And remember, they were screaming back in 18 at Trump, at racist and this. And then the further point. Like I said, look at that, over 10,000 views in there. I couldn't get 10,000 views on Facebook anymore if I stood upside down naked on this thing. That just shows how much they're all the stuff of we're not shadow banning and we're not doing this balderdash. They're not just platforms, they're controlling the narrative. And Royism 101. He who controls the narrative wins 98.7% of the time. This is a weird phenomenon. Major shift, California's priciest homes are no longer concentrated in Silicon Valley. Actually, they're in and around Orange County and San Diego, starting to crowd out San Jose and San Fran as some of the priciest real estate in the world. That's a whole host of reasons, and I'm sure we'll explore that much more in the coming weeks and months, especially as the race for governor heats up. That will be a big topic of how to get housing prices down and all that. And we'll hear maybe a couple good solutions and a whole bunch of dumb ones. I just want to say this about this, all this noise about, oh, Eric Swalwell can't run because of residency. That's all being pushed, I believe, I think most of it, by Tom Steyer. Because he's trying to get Swalwell out so the Roy plan ain't going to be, so the Democrats aren't splitting the vote up as much. So don't get locked into that, because I know a lot of the center-right guys broadcasting this stuff. Oh, Swalwell's going to get knocked out. I'd say the odds are about 1 in 10 that the judge is actually going to rule that he can't run for governor. On the second spot, they're trying to do that. Now all of a sudden the rats want to follow the rules. When every other election rule, they'll lie, steal, cheat, and their judges will throw them out, yada, yada, yada. All I can say is don't buy the BS from both sides. A lot of people you trust, at least in my opinion, aren't what they seem. So we'll end the week with my other weekend experiment on human behavior. Of course, the 10th was the second year my dad was not on the top side of the grass. Yesterday was the 1 year since my mom passed away. And today would have been their 66th wedding anniversary on that. So I get 3 days stacked in. So like I said yesterday in that, I've been running my experiment on human behavior. If you watch this all the way to the end, just put in the comments section, just type in the letter A, and we'll see how many people respond. We'll have a report on this coming back next week. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory you're back here in 71 hours. Why? You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Until then, see ya.
The proceeding was a paid...
Well, I'll put in my A with you right now.
There you go. Thank you. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I saw that stuff about Swalwell. He's leading outright now.
I'll get into it maybe next week. They're weighting
right.
the polls heavy to the Democrats on the undecided. That's a phony poll. I got the stats on it and stuff that I've been working on. I'll have a report on it next week.
Sounds good, Roy. Take it easy. You have a good weekend.
We'll see you. Ah.